Also, might be up for a mitzvah. I don't know. I'm just a guess, but
Was that a yes or a no, Roz? You briefly unmuted. That was.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, would you do the Elenu? I can't hear what you're saying. I'm going to
We
take that as
can't
an
let
indication.
we.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm muted. Yes, yes, I'm happy to do that, Rabbi Daisy. Thank you. Thank you for asking me.
Yeah,
Lovely.
that's lovely. And also, this is an improvement because I normally give Roz about 2 seconds notice, so it's an improvement. Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. And I have printed off for tomorrow's Haftarah, thank you.
Yeah, we got it in the end, so we get
It's my grandpa's yacht site,
Yeah.
well, kind of at the moment. So yeah.
I'm intrigued by the kind of.
Well, it was actually yesterday.
Fine. So this Shabbat, but
Yes.
what is quite confusing is that some communities mark the yard site the Shabbat preceding, and some do the nearest Shabbat and the Shabbat after, and you can end up with a whole sort of stream of
We're quite flexible because it's usually the Shabbos after. But if you're not available for any reason that Shabbos, then you can request a different Shabbos.
I would
oh,
agree. Flexibility is a very good thing because, yeah,
Well, we are liberal Jews after all.
yeah, exactly, Roz.
yeah, compassionate flexibility rather than just,
Yeah.
uh, flexibility without intent behind it, let's say.
Exactly. And I'm going to mute myself, but because my mother-in-law's living with me and we've got music on in the background, we've actually got Christmas music, but it won't be carried on during the service.
That's all right.
But then it's part of the flexibility and the chaos that we all know about.
Danielle, will you sing Ahavat Olam for us?
If you like, thank you very much.
I would, please.
Someone's just joined called iPhone. We're supposed to
normally-
challenge if we don't know who they are. I don't know if
It's
they...
David.
Ah, okay.
It is not just an iPhone. I miss the days of early Zoom when people would join with, sort of silly meeting names. Right. We'll make a start, and if more people join us as we go, then that will be lovely. It's really nice to be with all of you. I'm very tired today, so if you can hear that in my voice, I would say I apologize, but I don't want to apologize for being tired. But I hope you will. You're coming. I'm recognizing and thinking particularly that we're all coming into Shabbat with a whole host of different feelings and reasons as to why we're here. And for some of us, it's that we have a yard site this week. Some of us may have had a particularly joyful week. Some of us may have had a challenging week, and some of us may be having a challenging day. But one of the joys of Jewish ritual and life is that we do these things together with people with a whole host of different reasons as to why we're gathering together. And it gives us at least the opportunity to try and be in the present. So that's the intention I'm taking in as we light the candles. Hopefully you can see them beside me. Hello. If anyone else has candles, please do join me in lighting. Let's say together, Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat. And there you go. I can see that there's a typo in the Hebrew. So I can now see you looking at the screen being like, where is it? B'mitzvotai we have. So it's just as well. I know what I'm talking about rather than just reading off the screen. We're going to sing the opening verses from 2 of our Shabbat Psalms today. They might be new tunes to some of you, but they're sort of short and repeated. So hopefully you'll be able to pick it up and joining however you would like to. Lechu naranana l'Adonai, naria l'tzur yeshenu, nekadma fanav b'todah, bizmerot naria lo, bizmerot naria lo. Lechu naranana l'Adonai, naria l'tzur yeshenu, nekadma fanav b'todah, bizmerot naria lo, bizmerot naria lo. We'll do it one more time. Lechu naranana l'Adonai, naria l'tzur yeshenu, nekadma fanav b'todah, bizmerot naria lo, bizmerot naria lo. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruch shamo, basru me'am le'am yeshuato, sabru v'goyim kavodo, b'chol ha'amim nifleotav, ki gadol Adonai um'olamot, norahu al kol Elohim. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, shiru l'Adonai baruch shamo, basru me'am le'am yeshuato, sabru v'goyim kavodo, b'chol ha'amim nifleotav, ki gadol Adonai um'olamot, norahu al kol Elohim. I almost don't feel ready to go into Shabbat. I'm not really sure what that's about. There's something about Lechadodi that even though we've already welcomed Shabbat with lighting the candles, feels as though we're really starting. But I will make myself feel ready, I suppose, by inviting you to come sing with me, literally to come to greet each other as we greet the metaphorical, let's say, Shabbat bride. So please join me in singing together. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, Pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad u'shamo echad, L'shamo tiferet v'litchila. Lecha dodi, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה, מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, אורי, אורי שתדברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. בואי בשלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובתוך עולה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And as we call each other to pray with the Baruch Hu, you can see there's a massive smile on my face, because seeing everyone sing so enthusiastically, or at least the people who are on my shortened screen, really is just so wonderful, and it feels as though I can hear you all with me, and really gives me a great joy and comfort, and makes me so proud of the fact that we can build community in this way, which, sort of the Baruch Hu is the prayer that recognizes this, that is us coming together as a community. And as Kevin was saying earlier about, us being liberal Jews, it doesn't matter whether we have a minyan or not, and it doesn't matter whether we are all physically in the same location or not, because we are a community, and that's pretty wonderful.
Yes. Can I share something at this stage?
Sure.
It's quite moving, because my mother-in-law is in this room and she's quite happy, and we also had carers who are actually they've left now. One of them said it meant so much to her hearing the prayers and the singing. And she said, "Is it in Hebrew?" I said, "Yes, it is." But she was it helped her in her work and everything. So it's you take it to another level, Daisy.
I'm so glad. I did have an excellent, normally when people ask me what I do, they're sort of, if they don't understand, I say, oh, like a Jewish priest. And this week I had my first a Jewish imam, which was excellent, although sort of I could see in their head raising a whole load of questions where, most people, even if they come from a tradition that doesn't welcome Jewish priests, definitely not, that doesn't welcome female priests, are aware of their existence, but that's less of the case with imams, and it's always funny when you have to sort of introduce yourself in the context of another, because we forget that clearly not everyone does know what a rabbi is. He then had to Google to check how to spell it, which I thought was also lovely.
It's all lovely. Okay, let's keep going.
Right, let's carry on. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Lie, 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 lie. Adonai Hamavorach Leolam Leolam Va'ed. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Lai 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 lai. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreom v'layla, kolel or mipnei choshech, kolel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Roll into dark, roll into light. Night becomes day, day turns to night. Boreom v'layla, kolel or mipnei choshech, kolel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or. Uma'ave yom u'mevi laila, um'avdil ben yom u'vein laila, Adonai tzevaot shemo, Baruch atah Adonai, Hama'ariv, Aravim.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Beit Yisrael, Amacha ahavta, Torah umitzvot, Hukim umishpatim, Otanu limadata, Otanu limadata. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shoch beinu uvakumeinu nasiya b'hukecha v'nisma b'divrei Toratecha uva mitzvotecha l'olam va'ed. Ki hem hayenu ba'orech yameinu uvahem negeh yomam v'layla, yomam v'layla. V'ahavatecha al tasur mimenu, al tasur mimenu leolamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael.
Amen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני Elohechem. All this we hold to be true and sure. You alone, Eternal One, are our God, and we are Israel, your people. You have freed us from oppressors and delivered us from tyrants. You led us out of Egypt forever to serve you in freedom. When we witnessed your power, we praised your name and gave thanks. Willingly we accepted your rule. Then, full of joy, we sang together. Mi chamocha b'yalim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nora tehilo oseh v'eleh, nora tehilo oseh v'eleh. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני Ga'al Yisrael. The language of peace is the language of wholeness. Shalom, shalem, refuah shlema. The idea of a complete recovery is one that sits uncomfortably with many of us with chronic illnesses and disabilities, and recognizing that as we get older, our understanding of health and recovery changes too. It's why I like to think of this in language of peace and wholeness, why our prayer for the shelter of God's love, embodied by a caring community, feels so deeply to me to be a prayer for healing. We all seek peace and wholeness, full recognition of our minds and our bodies, and pray that brings us and those we love comfort. So let's sing Hashkevenu together, and we'll leave a moment in which we can name out loud those who we're thinking of particularly at this time. Hashkevenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamitenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkevenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom, v'hamitenu malkeinu lechaim. Hillel said, "Do not separate yourself from the community." At times when we feel our most vulnerable, we need the physical and emotional strength our community can provide. We take a moment now to think of all who, at this time, need our care and our love.
Can I mention some people, from Stevenage, Evelyn Goldwater, and my daughter's father-in-law, who are both ill.
Hashkefenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Hashkefenu Adonai Eloheinu leShalom v'hamidenu malkeinu lechaim. Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, va'akol yoshvei tevel. As we come to our Amidah, I'm going to hand over to Linda, who very kindly, I was going to say volunteered, but agreed that she'd lead this part of the service for us.
Na 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 Adonai, na 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 Sifatai Tiftak, na 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 Ufi Yagid Tehilateka. Oh, na 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 Adonai, na 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 Sifatai Tiftak, na 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 Ufi Yagid Tehilateka. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu v'Imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zoker Kastei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mevi Geula Lifnei B'neihem, Le'man Shumo B'Ahava, Melech Ozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham v'Ezrat Sarah. Ata gibor le'olam Adonai, Mekayei metim ata rav lehoshia, Majib haruach u'morid hageshem, Mazriuk hashemesh u'morid hatal, Mekalkel chayim b'kesed, Mekayei metim b'rakamim rabim, Sohomek noflim v'rofech olim, U'matir asurim, U'makayem emunato lishenei afa, Michamo kaba'al gevurot, U'midom elak, Melech meimid, U'makayem, U'matzmiach Yeshua, V'ne'eman lakakayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hametim. Kadosh atah v'norah shemecha, ve'ein lanu Eloah mib'aladecha. Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh. We praise you, Eternal One, the Holy God. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, lasot et ha-Shabbat ledoratam berit olam. Beini uvein B'nei Yisrael, oti la'olam, V'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz, v'shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו, ריצי במנוחתנו, קדשנו במצוותיך, ותן חלקנו בתורתך. סבנו מטובך, ושמחנו בישועתך, ותהא ליבנו לעובדך באמת. והנהילנו אדוני אלוהינו, באהבה וברצון שבת קודשך, ואנוהו ישראל, מקדשי שמך. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. Praise you, O God, for the holiness of the Sabbath. Ritzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amcha Yisrael, tfilatam ba'ahavat kabel, tehi l'ratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai she'otaka levadeka b'yira na'avod. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship in reverence. Modim anaknu lak, she'atahu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'Elohei avotenu, le'olam, le'olam va'ed. Zur chayenu, magen yishenu, atahu ledor vador. Zur chayenu, magen yishenu, atahu ledor vador. Nodei lekanu sapeti latecha, al chayenu hamsurim biadecha, va'anishmotenu hapukudot lach, va'anisecha shebachol yom imanu, va'aniflotecha v'tovotecha shebachol et erev vavokev et soharayim. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimka ulekena el hodot. We praise you, O God, whom alone we worship it. I don't know what the last bit was, sorry. To whom our thanks are due. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamka Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamka Tasim Le'olam. Ki atahu melech adon leko hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lekol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamka Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Hamka Tasim Le'olam. V'tov beinecha levarek et Amcha Yisrael be'et kol בכל עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. שלום רב על ישראל עמך תשים לעולם. Baruch atah Adonai, Osei HaShalom. We praise you, O God, the source of peace.
Let's take a moment for silent prayer. Osei Shalom Bimroma. Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'al kol bnei Adam ve'imru Amen. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la. I'm not going to give any sort of lengthy drasha or sermonette this evening, but I did want to share with you this poem. It's one of the readings. I'm really aware now that because I put it on screen, everyone's going to be reading it. It's one of the readings in Mishkan Tefillah, the American Reform Siddur, that they have on the left-hand side of the page, which are creative interpretations or texts in dialogue with the traditional liturgy or the Reform traditional liturgy, which you find on the right-hand side of the page. And I always think of this piece when it comes to this parasha, because it ends with this line that we have from two separate verses of this week's parasha, of when Jacob wakes up from his dream and exclaims, "How filled with awe is this place?" And we did not know it, although that's not, technically exactly how he says it in the text. I learnt a melody to this through Noah Aronson, who did a project putting all of these texts that you can find on the left-hand side of the page to music. There's a whole bunch of them. I encourage you to go out and learn it. I'm not going to sing it to you, but the refrain of Manora Hamakom Hazeh has really stuck with me, so much so that in a previous job when I was working at Liberal Judaism, I'd written it out on a sticky note and stuck it on my desktop. And it was a helpful reminder of why I was doing the work that I was doing, even in administration. And Rabbi Paul Friedman came into the office one day, realized that I had made a mistake. I think I'd written a hey at the end of Norah rather than an aleph, and corrected it and left me a note explaining that he'd done so. Which was greatly appreciated, though I did feel a little bit embarrassed afterwards. But this text really speaks to me, to, I suppose, a bit of what I was, saying at the beginning of the service, to the need to take time to ground ourselves in the present, and realize feels as though it's a passive thing rather than active thing. But to actively choose to find the awe and the holiness wherever we are, and no matter what circumstances we find ourselves in, or we choose for ourselves, that we're always surrounded by miracles, however small they may be. So if there's a volunteer who would like to read it out loud for us, because even if we will be reading it on the page in front of us, we haven't heard it, I'd be really grateful.
I'd love to.
Yes,
Rabbi.
please.
Thank you. Reverence, Vayetze. Days pass and the years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing and our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when your presence, like lightning, illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see, wherever we gaze, that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it.
Thank you. I'm going to pass over to Roz, who will lead us in the Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol, la teikdula leotze bereshit, asher samchalkenu leached et shamo, v'gor aleinu lahalich malchuto, va'anachnu korim, mishtachavim umodim, Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu. Shehu notei shamayim ve'osed haaretz, u'moshav yikarov b'shamayim mima'al, u'shchinatu zo, b'govhei meromim, hu Eloheinu einod, emet malkeinu efes ulato, kakatuv b'torato, V'yadata hayom v'hashavota elevavecha, ki Adonai hu ha'Elohim, b'shamayim mima'al, ve'al ha'aretz mitachat einod. And it has been said, the eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day, the eternal God shall be one and known to be one. V'ne'emar, v'haya Adonai lemelech, al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, yihyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
As we come to say Kaddish together, we think this week particularly of, in the Reform community, of Eve Kopitko, the mother of Leslie, Lawrence Music, the husband of Veronica and the father of Rachel Green and Emma Atias, Lawrence Frost, the father of Debbie Alaluf and the husband of Ray, Leah Lily Pincus, the mother of Trevor, Paulina Tiga, the mother of John, Samuel Ludwin, the father of Leonard, Samuel Rosenblum, the father of Marion, and Sidney Gold, the father of Sheila Garfield. And in the liberal community, we think of Lewis Burlam, the father of Maureen Lupert, John Gilbert, the grandfather of Roz, Norrie Gilroy, the father of Jane Lesser, Michael Udelson, the husband of Janet, Norman Kay, the friend of Lindsay and Adrian Cohen, Cyril Suska Mayer, the brother of Esther Bamforth, Herbert Olszewski, the father of Ruth Eva Fiegel, David Pannell, the husband of Elaine, Colin Petch, the brother of Christine, Madeline Rubens, the mother of Rosemary Wolfson, Marta Schatz, the grandmother of Ruth Eva, Nora Seymour, a friend of the community, Stella Spiegel, the mother of Lorraine Boucher, Millie Tapper, the mother of Evelyn Roos, Henry Warner, the husband of Ursula and the father of Jennifer Carter and Alison Warner. If there's anyone else that you're thinking of at this time, whether it's because it's their yacht site, you're still in the early periods of boarding, or just because of the person who you always think of as we come to say Kaddish, please feel free to share their name out loud in the chat or hold it in your heart. And I'll invite you to unmute and say with me. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ba'alma divrachu tei v'yamlich mahute, b'chai yachon u'v'yom yachon, u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agala u'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yahei shemei Rabbah mevarach la'alam u'l'almei almaya, yitbarach yishtabach v'yitpa'a v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithada v'yitale v'yithalal shemei d'kudusha b'richu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechemata, ta'amiram ba'alma v'imru amen. Yahei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'okol Yisrael v'imru amen. Waseh shalom b'mromav, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'okol Yisrael ve'okol b'nei Adam v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, u'ya'aseh shalom aleinu Eloheinu ve'al kol Israel ve'al kol bnei Adam. Kevin, over to you before our concluding song.
Okay. Once again, it's probably not an announcement, it's more of a thank you. Again, Rabbi Daisy. You said you came into the service saying you're feeling tired, and also I guess the setup wasn't easy as well, and we're all a bit tired about that, but we'll feel now re-energized, and so many meaningful thoughts and just about the community and the way that that actual sort of kind of poem, that song really meant a lot to us. And thank you for just re-energizing our minion. I think we've got minion for tonight. And also I'd like to thank our choir individually. They did absolutely fantastically, sort of with their own unique voices. I was disappointed I wasn't asked, but that's probably a relief for everybody else. But thank you for all who contributed to the service, especially yourself, Daisy. And I'm sure we're going to finish on a high.
Well, I picked on you last week, Kevin, so I thought I'd give someone else a turn.
Okay, thank you. I'm quite relieved.
We're going to end with Yedid Nefesh, and then I was going to say we'll make Kiddush. I don't have anything with me to make Kiddush because Josh and Theo aren't with me, so there's no challah.
Oh,
So if anyone does have the Kiddush,
Danielle can
the
do
relevant things, then
mostly.
we can hold them on screen. Otherwise, we can sort of, make Kiddush for. I
And
don't think
I've got a glass of wine as well. So
excellent. So you
yeah.
can do Beret Pri Hagafen.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will have bread.
Yeah, so Danielle has, so we're fine.
Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman Av HaRachaman Mashoch Avtecha El Retzonecha El Retzonecha Yadid Nefesh Av HaRachaman Av HaRachaman Mashoch Avtecha El Retzonecha El Retzonecha Yarutz Avtecha Como ayal yishtachave el mul hadaracha yadid nefesh av harachaman av harachaman mashoch avdecha El Retzonecha, El Retzonecha. I'm just flipping through my Siddur because not that I only give a concluding blessing when I feel as though the community deserve it, but I feel so held by all of you and your presence with me that even though there isn't a slide for it, I wanted to end with a blessing. Adonai yishmor tzetecha uvoecha me'ata va'ad olam. May the Eternal One guard your going out and your coming in, now and always. And I'm going to pass over to Kevin, who will make the blessing over wine, and Danielle, who will make it over challah.
And feel free to unmute yourself to join me in our L'chaim. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam Borei peri hagofen.
Amen.
Amen and l'chaim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen.
Amen. It looks beautiful.
I'm
And now we're all
afraid
going to
it's
watch
not
you eat.
quite intact.
Yeah, we had a way where we had to share, didn't we? Everyone had a connection with the challah.
So I'm
It's
going
not
to
so easy.
stop the share so we can greet each other briefly before going on to our Shabbat dinners or whatever else you may be doing at 7 o'clock on a Friday night.
Shabbat shalom, everyone. See you
Shabbat shalom.
tomorrow morning.